All right, Dan. Before I start this, I'd really like to say that I love you and I care about you a lot. However, as an audience member, I don't really feel like Dan 3.0 was too successful. Uh, at the beginning of Dan 3.0, you had stated that we were going to have complete, utter control of your life. And I don't want to say that you lied, because I mean, that's not the case at all. However, it wasn't the case, if that makes any sense. At the beginning of Dan 3.0, it felt like, you were picking stuff that we had decided to do for you instead of going through the list and doing everything like the way I interpreted it. It was, it seemed like you kind of filtered stuff out. And I understand the fact that, you're not going to, kill somebody if someone tells you to. You're not going to break up with your girlfriend, but it didn't really feel like we had complete control. And I felt like that was I felt like that was the main purpose of the project is for us to come together as a community and have control. Because I mean, that's what makes the whole Dan 1.0, Dan 2.0, Dan 3.0, that's what makes it amazing is that there's so much community behind it. I subscribed to you in the middle of Dan 2.0 and I loved your videos. Every day I would come home, I would watch you, Sexy Phil, and the Vlog Brothers because I felt like y'all were the only YouTubers that came up with, mentally stimulating videos. I remember, hold up, so much better. I remember coming home on Mondays and I would watch your video first, and you would have some topic for us to talk about, and I would sit there and I'd spend the week thinking about it, just, coming up with all sorts of ideas. And, come Friday and stuff, being able to see those ideas played out, being able to have a response, a rebuttal to those ideas was amazing. It was the most stimulating experience ever. I mean, I felt like I was gaining more knowledge from your videos than I was attending 4 classes in high school, and 4 classes in college. It was awesome. And I realized that you kind of felt like Dan 3.0 was going to have the same amount of following, and that for the first part of it, it did. However, it kind of felt like you were filtering stuff out, and it didn't really feel like it was about the community anymore. It felt like it was about you, which I'm sure isn't the case, and I'm sure you feel differently about it. But us being only able to see 15 or 10 minutes of your day, it's kind of hard for us to see the whole picture, and it's just, it's not that Dan 3.0 is a failure. It's just that Dan 3.0 wasn't gone about the way it needed to go. If that makes any sense, it does in my head. But yeah, it's a really biased opinion, but in my opinion, I feel like we should go back to Dan 2.0 for a while until something else comes up. I mean, Dan 2.0 was awesome. The audience was happy. I feel like you were happy. I'm not really sure if you were or not, but it was a good thing. And I don't want to make it sound like change is bad, but we changed. Us as an audience and you as a person and our relationship in between us is different, and that's fine. However, I feel like we need to take a step back. We need to, keep the routine that we were on. And maybe in the future, if we feel like we need to change, we need to change. That sounds, it sounds like relationship advice, but I mean, in the end, we have a pretty significant relationship. We have a really strong. Like I feel like out of all the YouTube channels, the relationship between Dan Brown and the Pogo tribe is the strongest. I hope you feel the same way. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I really just want to see you happy. If you decide to stick with Dan 3.0, I'm going to keep on watching. I'm going to keep on giving you support. If you decide to go back to Dan 2.0, I'm going to be ecstatic. If you decide to switch to something else, that's going to be awesome. I'm still going to watch you. You know, um, I guess that's it, really. Um, just do what you feel like you need to do. Even if you need to take some time off of the N 3.0, like maybe like a week or two, just to figure things out, just to get your head straight, that's fine. Just remember, we love you. Stay strong.